we're talking about overweight and all this other stuff. In a standard general music classroom, you should be up and moving every single day. I never taught an elementary music class where you sat down and you were moving. Now, I know you want to restructure and all of that stuff, but it's the same thing. You can easily restructure and have the same types of movement and activities. All my elementary students can attest, they would leave my class singing and sweaty and smelly. And I always gave the deodorant speech no matter what, because as we know, elementary kids are the worst with wearing deodorant on a daily basis, and they sometimes really need it. But to go back on point, like, everything that you want to accomplish can easily be done with a music teacher. And like, you want to teach, you want to re-emphasize everything. That's what we are told is classroom teachers. If we're learning science they're talking about sound waves and building instruments in science, I will talk to my band students about, going along with that lesson, make everything intercurricular, because that's how it's supposed to be. And I know that there are certain teachers who do it differently than how I do it. I'm just trying to provide examples, because I didn't grow up in Schuylkill County. I grew up in Chester County, and I was thankful enough to have amazing music teachers. And a lot of times that we just kind of forget that if you have a bad teacher, you kind of hate that subject. And I know that there are some really bad music teachers out there, and there's nothing you can do about that, and that kind of ruins it for a lot of people. But it's when you make the decision to hire somebody, you kind of get a feel for what they're going to be like. And that's why I just would really like to see a music person at that position.
Almost 8 years now, so as you can imagine, this is a very huge concern for me with you reinstating the music program in the elementary, as you have said. So, our music program back in the late 90s, early 2000s, it was only 12 to 15 members. My brother was a part of it. The band director at that time, he dipped into the elementary to get these players. And from starting in elementary, they have soared, they have accomplished amazing things. My brother was here at the last meeting. He is a very high-ranking official with the drum corps. He does everything. He travels around the country doing the things he loves. But at the time, when they dipped into the lower elementary grades, Dr. Kowski was very impressed and told us that our music program would be safe to ensure the growth of it and everything would be okay. I myself have been in this music program since the 4th grade, and every single member back there is like my family. And cutting into this elementary program, I can't even describe, it's like cutting out a part of my family that I haven't even known. Everyone is just so wonderful in the music program. I learned so much every day because of Mr. Chocolate, because of Mrs. Steely. I travel around to different schools, I meet new people, I meet other guest directors. I've learned so much. You stated that you're more focused on improving math and science and history and physical education. Well, as Mr. Lennox just said, physical education, I'm sure he covered everything with that. But the things that we learn in music, I feel like a lot of people believe that it's just pick up an instrument, blow air through it, see if you can make a note, see if you can make a noise. But there is so much more that goes into it. You need to think of time signatures and how long this note gets the beat, what beat to play on, what beat to rest on, how am I going to sound? Do I need to tighten my lips? Do I need to lower my lips so I make a lower or higher sound? Everything. We need to worry about time signatures. We need to worry about so many things before we even pick up the instruments. And that covers so much of the subjects that you're so worried about in our elementary curriculum. And you're also worried about our test scores and everything else. Well, I can say for a fact that music does help improve test scores, improves education. I myself and a lot of these wonderful students back here were just inducted into NHS. They are top of their grades, top of their class, top of their grades. They are wonderful. And for you to cut this is to cut part of their education, or reinstate it, as you once said. the matter of fact is, this is a program that has been in the works since the early 90s, early 2000s, and it's a program that works. I don't believe you would ask a varsity coach on a sport to teach every single elementary player that wants to come up, every little kid, including 7 through 12. That's just not physically happening. You believe that Mr. Choplik can do it, and I believe that he is more than capable of doing it, but the fact is that he cannot. It's just way too much. We need someone that can focus on just elementary. Mr. Choplik is wonderful, Miss Steely is wonderful, but the point is we just can't have a high school teacher worrying about 5th through 12th grade. It's just not going to happen. And music teaches us all the time to work not only for excellence, but it teaches us to work on our social skills and working with people every single day. It's improved my social interaction with people. I have had such a great time in this music program, and I personally would not be here today if it was not for everyone standing behind me in support. So I'm not really sure what more I can say. I ask that you please rethink, because just reinstating this music program, I don't think it could happen. I really do not think that this could be a thing that would work out best for us. So.
Last time I was here. The first thing I'd like to say is thank you to Mr. Lennox for taking time out of your busy schedule on a dreary Tuesday night to come and speak on the behalf of the arts. I really appreciate that as someone who doesn't even work here. And Sean James, wherever you are. Sean, that took a lot of bravery to come up here as a sophomore and do that in front of a lot of adults that are standing and staring at you and taking every word that you say and dissecting it. I could not have done that when I was your age, when I was in high school, but you're a different person than I am. But that's part of my point. I've subbed at a lot of schools in the district. I'm a proud graduate from Pottsville in 2008. And then much like Mr. Lennox, go Golden Rams, we both graduated from the incomparable Golden Rams, Westchester University. So him and I are very much on the same wavelength with this as proud Westchester alum. And I don't like this microphone. As a teacher, I need to feel the space, and I don't like to turn my back to these people like I did before. I am here for them, not to put my back to them. First and foremost, I think all of you in this room, namely parents, should be incredibly proud of these kids that are here today, especially you, Sean, for coming up and standing and talking, because I think that this community, this school district as a whole, top to bottom, this district breeds kids like Sean James, who at 15 years of age, can come up to a podium and say, I could not have done that, ever. I was 15, I'd be terrified. I would have never done that, not ever, not even once. But here he is. I think that this district breeds those kinds of kids. And what I fear as a music educator myself is that by taking away a general education program from the elementary, it decreases interest. You have kids who come through the program who are interested in music who aren't getting that on not a daily basis, but a weekly basis. There are kids that aren't good at math. There are kids that aren't good at science or history or English. And I'm one of those people, and I certainly feel like Mr. Lennox is probably also one of those people, and probably Mr. Choplik is one of those people. We had a passion for music, and that's why we pursued that. But the point isn't to produce kids in this room to go on to major in music. Eventually, we are all going to grow old and joints are going to get stiff, and I'm already there myself with this rain bothering my knees. But sports don't last forever. But music is a hobby that you can carry with you for the rest of your life, whether you become a professional or not. If you have the kind of program where it's nourished and it's created, it's encouraged, like this program right now, you have people like these students here who care enough about this program to show up today to defend it because they understand the importance. They're here because of the benefit that they've received from this program. And to change this program is it's going to go downhill. I understand that you're trying to do the best thing for the district, and I commend you for that, because you're only given so many resources, and you've got to do what you have to to meet requirements, and I'm not here to ever discourage anyone from encouraging PE and physical education in youth, because I think that's incredibly important in today's day and age. I'm not here, I would never ever stand up here and detest something like that. There's something lacking in this district, but please do not do this. Please reconsider something else. There's got to be a better alternative to this, because to lose general education in your K through 6 program is going to lose people. He will lose numbers. By the time, I understand that the idea is to still have him teach 5th and 6th. You guys instrumental? 5th and 6th, correct? By the time they get to 5th grade, a lot of those kids are wrapped up in things. I don't know who has kids in this room, but by the time you're in 5th, 6th grade, you're early teens, you're 10, 11, 12 years old, you're in a lot of things. You're involved in sports, you're involved in Boy Scouts, I was myself. A lot of these kids in this room are involved in the drama club. They're involved in a lot of things. And if we don't catch them early, this program is going to dwindle, and in a couple of years, it will not exist. It is as simple as that. I come here as a percussion instructor. I barely work here. I work here on a stipend that I receive in the fall. And when I got here 3 years ago, I had 6 girls, some of which are in this room, in the drum line. And now I can proudly say that I have 9 people in the drum line. I had someone graduate last year in Joey Rojas. I'm very proud of what I've been able to do with those kids, because this district harbors the kind of people like Sean James who have the courage to stand in front of a podium like that and be judged by adults and people twice, 3 times his age, because he believes in this program. This district harbors kids like that because of the way this district is currently constructed. And to change it is going to get rid of people with that kind of mentality who are going to go out into the real world. And maybe Sean's never going to major in music, but Sean's always going to know how to play the trombone. Sean's always going to remember the marching shows that he played in. I can remember the ones I was in high school, as I'm sure Mr. Choplet can and Mr. Lennox can. We remember those things. Those are memories that we carry with us forever. And I'm sure he has made some of the best friends that he has in this school by going to and being a part of band. I'm sure there's a lot of kids that I can attest to, myself included, who are socially awkward. We're socially awkward, join band, we're in band, we have a community of other kids who are also socially awkward, but we're all a community. We create this community idea where all of us together are doing something bigger than ourselves. And as one man trying to do that across 6 grades, 7 grades, 7 grades, I simply don't see where the time can be put into it properly to do it well enough to even maintain the status we're at. As a member of this band staff that has worked closely with him and Miss Steely for the last 3 years, the last thing we want to do is see this program start to diminish and start to go down. Like I said before, I'm technically only a percussion instructor, but the kids ask me, oh, we need help with the drama club, we're doing a pit, can you help us out? Sure. Do I have time? No, I made time, because they're motivated, and this district creates motivated kids like that who ask me for my time, and I will never turn down when they ask me to do anything. I will make time to be here for them because they are motivated and they want to learn, and we're here, Mr. Choplik and myself, to help them learn. So a couple of years from now, 3, 4, 5 years from now, when this program dwindles and most likely disappears, when budgets get too tight and the money just isn't there anymore, and when the numbers dwindle and there's 10, 15 kids total in the band, totally justified to cut the program in. Now we have over 40 members, I believe, when we closed in November, the last part of the season. So to see that number go down would be extremely disheartening. I don't do this for the money. Anyone who goes into teaching for the money doesn't know what being a teacher is about. I don't do this for the money, I do this for them. I created my own ensemble so that those kids could have more time with me one-on-one so that they can learn more, because quite frankly, most of them can't drive. If they can't drive, they're probably too young to have jobs. They don't have jobs, they can't afford lessons. So how do I make a program better? I devote time out of my busy schedule to come here at least once a week, every week, this entire year, every year for 3 years now, to devote to them. And I've seen what they can do. And I've seen it because I put the time in and I volunteered that time, and it's paid dividends. They've improved, I've improved as an educator, spending more time around them, trying different techniques with them. I don't do this for the money. Please don't make this about the money. I do it for the kids. Please do this for the kids. That's all I have to say.
But I have witnessed over my years of being in band that all of like people that been in elementary have an advanced grade. Even in my school district, I've seen all my friends that I have, everybody that I know, they have advanced in every class, which that's mostly all of my class. That's how I got all my friends, because I'm not socially impaired. Yeah. Anyway, people that were not in that wanted to play instruments in elementary, they got to do it. But if you take away the elementary teacher or anything, they will get, well, you're not taken away, but you're given to Mr. Chocolate, which is going to be a lot on him. I know him, he has a bunch of, he has to deal with marching band, he has to deal with little kids, he has to deal with teaching like 7th and 8th grade, and from me being in 7th and 8th grade, half of the people don't even, like, they don't even care about music. They should learn that in elementary, so then they have a wider range of like knowledge for music. But what I wanted to touch up here is that if people that I know that came up from elementary into 7th grade, they wanted to play, and they didn't actually talk or anything because they were too afraid. But that's not any of our problem. But people that have been in music since 4th grade have a lot of musical experience. And if you wait until 5th grade to tell them, a lot of people in other schools would be more advanced because they would have better students, which means more trophies and better things for them in competitions, which I think that's not a really good idea for competitions, because we want to be a really good school. And half of the schools, like, we get almost last place just because of some of the things that we do, not just because of teachers or anything, but of like people from 4th grade coming up, which I think that's going to even drop more. Like, this year was a brilliant year for marching band. Like, we got a lot of awards, we got a lot more stuff, but that was because we had 4th grade with us, and we had a lot more support and everything like that. But if you take out the fourth grade and you go up to 5th grade, I think you're taking away a year for them to learn and for them to have a wider view on music when they come up. From over the years, I did notice from people coming up into 7th grade, they knew a lot. Like, I was in there since I was in 4th grade, and I really, really, really loved it. Like, I loved playing. Like, I never knew that I would be able to play the drums the way I do now, because when I came up in the 6th grade into 7th grade, I thought I was going to be like the lonely loner in this, but when I met everybody else, it was fine. That's how I think all these other people are gonna feel. But if you take out the 4th grade problem, they might be losing interest, just like everybody else said, that they came up and they all said their speeches and whatever. But after me being in the band for a while, some people want to join in high school, and some of them won't learn anything, which that's not any of our fault. But of being in the band in elementary, that would be a wider view, and you'll have a lot more people interested. That's what I think. And a lot of people in that. But another thing I also want to touch on is I did some research, which I usually never do research on my free time. I play Xbox. But anyway, getting back to the point, I looked on the thing, and in Schuylkill County, there's not one person taking over seven grades or 8 grades or how many grades. But there's not one teacher. Well, there's no band, first of all. There's no one school that does not have a band. Except for like Trinity, I think. But yeah, But anyway, there is substitutes for them. Like, they have at least 2 music teachers. Like, every school district has at least 2 that I know of in this area. So if you give Mr. Choplick the one position for all of that, I think that'll just look weird on our part, I think. I think that'll just look weird, and it'll look like I don't know what you wanna say about it, but I think it'll just look really, really crazy. Like, say, you only have one person taking over this whole part, plus he has to do planning and things for competitions, he has to take people to competitions, he has to teach people in other grades, he has to teach everything like that, which is a really big thing for him. Which I can tell right now that he's going through a lot of stress, just by the way he is by 8th period. He's going through a lot of stress already. I believe in him, he could do this, yes, he can do it, absolutely. But I don't think he just has the time. I think it'll be a lot of stress on him, a lot more stress on him than he already has, dealing with all of these grades. So that's all I just wanted to say. So just consider on like everything that I just said and they just said, and that's all.
Okay, thanks. Can I have one question and I'll come up?
And then one more person.
I understand that. I understand you
Other
want to keep this
business
moving.
this evening.
This will
and
take me
Appreciate everybody.
15 seconds.
Okay.
This is rhetorical, but from what I've gathered the last 2 meetings, Mr. Waite, and this is directed to you because you're the one who stated it, you're banking on Mr. Choplik doing this. What if he leaves? What if this is too much and he leaves? As a music educator myself, you will be hard pressed to find someone in this county with a music ed degree willing to take on 8 grades in this new restructured program, and that's just something that.
Mr. Franko, I'm gonna address that question. at the
Okay.
end of the board. And if I have, we want Mr. Choplik here. However, this is Mr. Choplik's job to have it all. If Mr. Choplik doesn't want to stay here, us as a board can't keep Mr. Choplik here.
I understand that.
Mr. Waite and this board, including our principals in the elementary, are doing things for the majority of the students here. It's not that we want to cut anything, we want to add things, okay? But as far as Mr. Choplik leaving, that would be up to Mr. Choplik. We can tell you that we believe Mr. Choplik can do the job. And that's what we know. But it's a free market, and if Mr. Choplik left, we'd miss him. But just like everybody else in every job in America, unfortunately, when my dad retired from the Army, they still fought wars. You gotta keep moving on as a district, whether Mr. Choplik stays or leaves. So that's to address your question.
I wasn't debating that you're not trying to better the district. My goodness.
And you know, I love the passion of the students and the parents here. I really do. And these aren't socially awkward. You were just in front of the mic for 45 minutes. So you did a great job. And it's part of this board to do the best we can for all students. And I speak for the whole board when I say that, and administration. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thanks. Just a rhetorical question too. I don't want an answer. I don't want an answer. Here's my rhetorical question. If this is a situation where we believe that Mr. Choplik might make a decision to move on based on the restructuring of this, my question is, has this been a thought of Mr. Choplik moving on prior to any restructuring as well? That's a rhetorical question. I don't need it to be answered. I know the answer.